Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside of the failed state of California. My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Monday, June 8, 2026, and this right here, the thing that you are watching, is called the TNAM Daily Show. We knew they were going to do this to Spencer Pratt. We've been talking to you about this. Remember when Gavin Newsom let it slip? He said something like, we might have a nuclear option, or he goes, but you know, I doing like Charlie Chaplin hand sign movements, like he's the interpreter standing off to the stage, off to the side of the stage at the Super Bowl. He's sign languaging the songs. I believe every major ballot drop, all going to Nithya Raman. Make that make sense. But like in Pulp Fiction, would it be worth them doing it just to catch them doing it? Well, the investigations are underway. Does anything ever happen after an investigation? Does anybody ever get held accountable? Do we ever truly have justice, or does it just seem like we're on a never-ending hamster wheel? There's a carrot at the end of that stick. I'm just going to keep walking in that direction. I'm going to get that carrot. Are you? It seems like the bad guys keep getting away with all sorts of stuff. So we'll see. We're going to talk about that. President Trump walked out of an interview. What do you think? Would you have walked out as well? There's no evidence. There's no evidence. Okay. It's a bold strategy to say that there's no evidence of fraud in California's elections. Investigative reporters have been showing you addresses that don't exist. You don't need to prove who you are. You can use like gym cards. There is. If you were designing a place to be as vulnerable to fraud as possible, California would still embarrass you. So do we accept that as the new norm, or do we change it? Well, you got those four dopes in Congress that, what is it, Murkowski and Collins, and they just block everything. Can't pass the Save America Act to get some common sense in our voting systems. No. By the way, Patriot Warrior Texas. Oh, look, he's back. Yes, I missed you guys on the last two shows. I had to go in the evening. And I might go in the evening now. I'm thinking about doing the first part of the show at noon and then do the second part of the show at 9 p.m. I know that's kind of crazy. But instead of a 3-hour show, there's different people at different times. So I'm sort of thinking, what if I tried that? I'm not familiar with anyone who's done things that way. But really, it's very easy to get a good 2-3 hour show in. What if I did 90 minutes twice? I don't know. Always looking for ways to expand the audience. Once again, thank you for finding us here. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with a friend. Hit the thumbs up button, however you happen to be watching. Yeah, Kenneth, you got it right. California cheated on such a winter's day. Sat down in a church. That's exactly what I was going for there. Ortho, Glockenstubel, how are you? What does your name mean? Orthoglutensnabel. What does that mean? I sort of process your name, but I don't think I've ever asked where it came from. But yeah, that's sort of what I'm thinking. Knock out a couple of shows. Keep them a little tighter. Yeah. How was your weekend? I definitely finally finished some long overdue tasks, things that were just on the to-do list for way too long. It feels good. It feels good. It's one of those, you keep walking past it, you keep looking at it, and you know it needs to be resolved. You know that you need to handle it, and you just don't. So it was good in that regard. It was good in that regard. Let me know what your highlights were. And we're bound for a whole bunch of stories out there in the universe, see what people are talking about. This is the bar. I am your bartender. Come on in. Let's talk about what everyone's talking about here on the TNAM Daily Show. Buckle up, buttercups. Grab your favorite beverage. And in honor, in remembrance of Scott Adams, let's do a simultaneous sip. If you'd like to participate in that, all you need is a cup or mug or glass, a tankard, chalice, a stein, a canteen, jug, or flask, a vessel of any kind. Fill it with your favorite liquid. I like coffee. Enjoy me now for the unparalleled pleasure, the dopamine hit of the day, the thing that makes everything better. It's called the simultaneous sip, and it happens now. Go! Second pot of coffee. As I said, buckle up, buttercups. The TNAM Daily Show starts now.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.
You just knew they were going to do this to Spencer Pratt. You just know it. Texas Mornings Unplugged. Built a 12 by 12 shed for my tractor and mower this weekend. Nice. Did you put it up on? Did you pour a concrete pad? Did you pour a bunch of stones down? Did you put some skids? What's the base? So I've been working on my shed. Oh, a lot of painting. I think I'm probably just going to call it a day. The front looks really nice now. A lot of repairs. Just over the years, deferred maintenance and replacing some rotted parts and spray foam or Bondo. But yeah, painting the house, just landscaping. It's been the driveway. It's really just this year became the time to fix some of these deferred maintenance issues. You just kind of move in and you watch it and you look at it, you keep an eye on it. You're like, one of these days I'm going to probably need to get I should probably do that. I should, but it's like, it's not going to be super quick. So you put it off and it's like, you can't just do it. You have to power wash. Then you have to tape. Then you have to paint. Then you got to take. But it was a productive week. These are things that I do not anticipate doing ever again. I will never paint that part of the house. I will never paint that. I might touch up the shed, but it's basically fine now. But 4x4 posts in the ground. Nice. Yeah. But it's good. It's sort of clearing the deck for what's to come. So I'm pretty excited about that. Welcome, everybody. See, this is different. I could keep your comments up. We can try this. And let's pull up our Instagram feed. Make sure you're following us on Instagram. Oh, no. See, that's not going to work. It doesn't stay on... it doesn't stay on my screen. Why wouldn't it just stay on my screen? So I got to go back into settings, put the overlay, and try it that way. All right, let's take a look at the news. Who's this? Kristen Sokolov, conservative.
Esta semana hemos podido ver el vídeo de la vergüenza. El vídeo en el que un joven europeo...
So this is a powerful reaction from Spanish nationalists exposing outrage over what happened to Henry Nowak. Oh, doggone it. I got to take the comments off. British teen stabbed and handcuffed while dying. Police believed the attacker's lies. 18-year-old Henry Nowak pleads, "I've been stabbed. I can't breathe." His officers cuff him, dismiss his cries. This is the broken Britain that we're watching.
De nombre Henry Nowak era detenido por la policía inglesa después de haber recibido hasta 4 puñaladas.
Sign says white lives matter.
Por un indio en Southampton, Inglaterra. Después de las varias puñaladas, Henry se desplomó en el suelo. En un país en el que un estado sirviese al pueblo y no a los invasores extranjeros, la policía habría auxiliado al joven y hubiese detenido al asesino indio. Pero en la Europa desarraigada y endofóbica, las cosas no funcionan.
Anyway, it's in a different language, you get it, but people are pissed. Tough video to watch, too. You should be upset at whatever plan it was to just change the makeup of everybody's nation without a vote. Just that's what Obama and the Democrats and the globalists are going to do for 20 years. Okay. Bill Maher says artists quitting America 250 concert makes it look like Democrats don't love America. He ripped the musicians who dropped out of President Trump's affiliated America 250 concert series, arguing it makes it look like they don't really love America. Backlash came after several performers, Martina McBride, Bret Michaels, the Commodores, Morris Day, C&C Music Factory, and Young MC. Oh my gosh. Pulled out of the Great American State Fair festivities in Washington, D.C., claiming they were misled about the event. What? Yeah, it's super lame. Now, I love a good Young MC song. I definitely do. This here's a tale for all the fellas. Try to do what those rules tell us. Get shot down because you're overzealous. Play hard to get females get jealous. Okay, smarty, go to a party. You get it. Great song. So Nithya Raman, a dopey no-name. Here she is giving her essentially her concession speech.
Los Angeles is the most magical city in the entire world. Win or lose, I am so proud to be an Angelino, and I'm so grateful to call this extraordinary city my home.
There she is crying on live TV after coming in a distant third place. Before, of course, all the late ballots came in and did what happened in 2020. We go to bed with President Trump up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of votes. Oh, no, look. Oh, we all need to pause. None of us can count anymore. Oh, it's a real complicated process where we got to find out the exact number we need to beat, and then we deliver exactly roughly that amount plus 0.017 or, it was razor. It was 51-49. It was, just razor close. Our country's half retarded and half super smart. No, we're totally, it's just razor thin. It's just razor thin. It goes from blowout Trump victory to just razor thin. It just nudged barely. Nithya Raman. Every subsequent ballot dump has her absolutely dominating the votes. That's my understanding. That's not possible. That's not a thing. We're done. How in the world are the ballots not cut off 1 week prior? No, not. You can be stamped. You can be postmarked that day, the next day. No thanks. Oh, we're going to be counting for weeks and weeks. No, you're not. No, you're not. I don't buy that. I don't believe that. That's happy horseshit. Spencer Pratt replies to this and says, the fruit of California rigged elections. So no confidence. Do it over single day in-person voting. Watch what happens then. Got to pass the Save America Act. All right, let's check in Bolivia, allegedly. Millennial Republicans reporting Bolivia just ended 20 years of socialist MAS rule. Kind of like America. An elected Christian capitalist Rodrigo Paz over socialist Evo Morales. Now, socialist mobs are unleashing deadly roadblocks, cutting off food, fuel, and hospital oxygen, while even seizing oil fields. Socialist mobs. Kind of reminds me, I was watching Peaky Blinders. And that's what the kid was doing. He was just breaking into storehouses during the war, stuff that people needed. And it's like, I don't care. It's like, you don't rob people like that. You're like, you don't do that. This is happening right in America's backyard, they say. Roadblocks, chaos, infrastructure blocking. Mobs are taking off food, fuel, other essential supplies. Forced to take off. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth says the Department of War and the Americas Counter-Cartel Coalition, A3C, reject all attempts to overthrow the legitimate government of President Rodrigo Paz in Bolivia. The United States is watching. Bolivia must not allow itself to fall prey to the old status quo of narco-terrorist dominance in the region. We will continue to support our A3C partners like Bolivia to ensure that narco-terrorists are deterred from profiting on death and destruction in our hemisphere.
They are behind.
Underreported story.
They are.
All eyes peeled. Yeah, that 2,400 votes, a lot of people say that didn't happen. Something about the analysis on that. Not entirely certain. All right, check out this Detroit priest. This guy is everything you would want out of a news clip.
Are behind bars tonight. Police do believe that the vehicle was stolen. Take a listen to Jean-Baptiste and how he knew how to spring into action.
Grabbed him and put him down, He was resisting a lot,
Damn.
trying to run away, definitely, and so I had to unfortunately.
Who just grabbed his ass? John
Few
Baptist?
punches
Yeah.
and hurt my hand a little bit. Nothing major, but making sure that there was no threat.
Jesus.
Since I didn't know if he had a gun, if he had a weapon.
Living
It was
paladin?
definitely,
Yep.
you know, suspicious behavior and probably guilty of the accident. As soon as I had the police officers take care of this gentleman, I rushed back to the lady, make sure, you know, if she needed the anointing of the six or you know, a blessing or something. So I was there too with the medics, and she was not very responsive. Her eyes were twitching a little bit.
What'd you do later? Like after all of that happened, just back to normal life?
Detroit car thief.
Yes, I went and
Yep.
had to do my prayers as usual and have dinner with the community and
Tackle an 18-year-old car theft suspect who crashed and tried to run. But now I need to get back to it. Got to go have dinner with the congregation.
Just another day.
just another day in the
Just
deep.
another day, yeah.
I believe he says just another day in the D.
Wow.
Just another day in the D.
Jesus Christ.
So, you
In
know, you gotta
Detroit.
watch out for those French
Wow.
priests if you're thinking about committing any crimes. Rube,
French
back to
priest,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, these are highly connected folks who you're messing with in many ways, walking around those churches. So watch where you walk and watch what you do.
Yes, and you know what? He's got quite an interesting history. You'll hear a little bit more about that coming up at 6.
Legacy of the Crusaders? Yeah, true.
Well, I'm going to look out
So
for your
true.
report tonight on the news at 6. Thanks so much. Scott Wolchak for us live tonight.
Oh my God, that is fucking funny. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, why? You got Minneapolis preachers, pastors, fathers, right? The one where Don Lemon broke into and caused all that hassle for him. Remember that? This guy's got to spring into action and be a service to the community. Yeah, you're not supposed to be weak and feeble. You're supposed to be helpful. It's what you're supposed to be doing.
Right. What a legend. Highly connected. Yeah, connected to God. Clearly, right?
They are behind.
I like those stories. Yeah, you're not supposed to be mean.
I was telling people it's like holding down a.
You're supposed to be like this guy.
I was telling.
Take a look. You remember this guy. He was on the flight. It was Puerto Rico to, what was it, Chicago or something? Yeah, to Chicago. They got this dude on the air. I got an interview with him.
People it's like holding down a little kid that was throwing a tantrum.
So give us a quick rundown. You're on a flight, something starts to pop off, and your jiu-jitsu DNA kicks in, and you go to work. So tell us about it.
I was on a flight from Puerto Rico to Chicago. The guy started going through the airline worker's bag. The employee went to go grab his bag, and the guy kind of lunged at him and jumped on him. By the time he even got his hands on him, I already had grabbed him and mounted on top of him. I kind of strapped him with the seatbelt and was just holding him there until he stopped spazzing out. I asked him if they had anything to restrain him, and they started bringing over zip ties. They were wanting me to put his hands behind his back, but it was in such an awkward situation. I was like, I would have had to crank his shoulder and like hurt him to do that. And I didn't want to do that. And I knew that I had the situation controlled.
At one point during the video, you guys are all doing work there. Something's happening, and they're trying to direct you doing this and that. And you say,
He's strapped too tight. Okay.
so tell me where that comes from.
I think it's just kind of who I am as a person. I get all of that out of me when I train. So I don't need to be out on the street or in public having to prove myself.
How much of your jiu-jitsu did you feel like you needed to deal with this guy?
Honestly, it was like 2%. I was telling people it's like holding down a little kid that was throwing a tantrum. You know, I'm a huge advocate for jiu-jitsu. I think everybody should do it.
Yeah. I do want everyone to do jiu-jitsu. I haven't. Maybe I need to start with me. Yeah, but this guy
Everybody
was
should
awesome.
have an understanding of how to defend themselves or defend their loved ones in real life situations.
It's good stuff to learn in case, just in case. Because as Ortho always says, go ahead and type it.
After seeing what I saw, We've been teaching law enforcement for over 30 years. The safe rap system that we developed to restrain another human is by far the most effective way to restrain someone and the safest way to restrain someone. So what I'd like to do is sponsor you to come to our next Safe Rap Instructor Certification course. And if Frontier Airlines won't sponsor your flight, I will sponsor the flight.
I would love to be out there. I appreciate that.
It'd be an honor to share the mat with you. And certainly I would feel much safer on a flight if you were on it, especially if I was passed out in my sleeper hold travel pillow, which I'm going to hook you up with as well. If you're on the flight and you're awake, I don't care what pops up. I'm staying asleep. I'll let you take care of it.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on. I was telling people, it's like holding down a little kid.
Never leave your cave without your club. Exactly.
In Beirut early.
All right, Toria Brooke put this out.
In Beirut.
They are discussing Israel and the United States, BB and President Trump. Take a watch.
Earlier today, he told me that was not coordinated with the United States and that he is not happy about it. The region is now waiting to see if the Israelis will respond to these waves of ballistic missiles that targeted their northern cities, including the third largest Israeli city of Haifa. But what we saw earlier today, an effort by the in Beirut earlier.
In an interview with Financial Times, President Trump says he calls the shot, not Israel. I decide everything. He doesn't decide. Netanyahu will have no choice but to accept the Iran deal. I call the shots. I call all the shots. Bibi does not. Toria Brooke says it's almost as if Trump's been in charge all along. I don't know, but what if? What if? Also, what about this guy? Why don't you be Vikram Digwa's neighbors? I just cannot get the frame correct with the comments on the screen, guys. I'm trying, but it just doesn't size right. Be Vikram Digwa's neighbors. 3 years ago, hear gunfire. Take a video of Digwa shooting. Report it to the police. Police say they can't do anything. Since reports from other residents. I don't know that. Well, there he is with his gun aiming it up at the sky. Since reports from other residents, therefore this report isn't real. The warning signs were there, yet it's terribly written. Weapons obsessed. Vikram brandished a gun in 2022. One who took the life of Henry Nowak. Cool. Brandishing his gun in the backyard garden 3 years before he murdered Henry Nowak. Okay. And he was also involved in a confrontation in a parking lot, a car in front, car behind. Brandished a sword in that one. "23 years old. Oh, they believe it to be an air pistol alongside a second man holding an air rifle. Southampton, after they were startled by the sound of loud gunshots. Just 3 years before Digwa goes on to take out Henry Nowak, the student on his way home from a night out, December 25. Got him 6 times with the large ceremonial dagger, then lied to police at the scene. Oh, that's after mocking him and filming him dying for 5-10 minutes as well. Yep, distressing body cam footage, begging, saying, "I can't breathe, I've been stabbed." One policeman says, "I don't think you have, mate." Yep, Digwa's lies meant Mr. Nowak was arrested by police and read his rights as he lay dying on the ground. Hampshire police apologized for arresting the youngster. Minimum term of 21 years Digwa was sentenced to this week. Sleeps with weapons, searches for weapons on his phone. Yep. Okay, well, I'm not sure what else I can tell you about that sad, bad story. Hello, everybody in chat. Thank you all for being here. Hit the thumbs up button, hit like, hit subscribe. Please invite your friends to the program. Let me put this up on the screen. Scrolling at the bottom, 3 ways to support the show. Signing up on a monthly basis. Become a subscriber for like $5 a month or more. Patreon, The New American Media. Rumble, The New American Media. YouTube, The New American Media. Thank you to everyone who is a monthly subscriber. Every first of the month, it clicks in and throws $5 in, and they take their fee, and the rest transfers, and it's appreciated. These are all building blocks we need to keep the lights on at the facility here. So thank you to everybody who has contributed, and consider Rumble Rant tips, Super Chat tips. You just click the thing, and it's like tossing a silver coin into the tip jar over my shoulder there. So thank you for considering that, as well as PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, scrolling at the bottom of the screen if you wanted to do that. All right, Will Robinson reporting that Pete Hegseth just admitted China has had access to our Department of Defense Pentagon cloud networks for the past decade, and it was all thanks to Microsoft. But it gets worse. The reason China had that access in the first place is because American contractors were too incompetent to manage the code themselves, so they relied on Chinese software engineers to copy and paste commands into our most sensitive military systems. Commands that the American contractors sitting in the room had absolutely no idea what they said or what they did. Couldn't manage the code. So here, China, copy-paste commands into our most sensitive systems. And we don't even know what the code says and what it does. Also related, let's vote in person on paper. Elizabeth Barco Hanna says, according to this, it's legal in California to accept ballots without a postmark if the voter handwrites the date on the envelope. Huh. Oh my gosh. This means all someone has to do is backdate ballots and send them in after Election Day. Oh my God. No confidence in this. There's still 2 more days of accepting new ballots. They're not even done yet. Okay, that's just... Elizabeth from California says they keep telling us we have no evidence of fraud. That is because the laws are designed to conceal it. And if ever it's discovered, it's too late to do anything about it. No rational person can look at these loopholes large enough to drive a truck through and conclude that our elections are clean. At a minimum, one must acknowledge the potential for abuse and manipulation, and that's reason enough to change them. This is anarchy. Signatures only need to be 40% accurate. This is the setting the machines are set for at LA County, called the ASV. The last 2 drops, and I think it's 4 or 5 drops now, disproportionately supported ramen. Are those coming from specific neighborhoods since they're such an anomaly, or are the neighborhoods pretty spread out that you count from on a given day? We're not sure. If you're unable to sign, you can make a mark, like a dot or a dash or a smiley face. Instead of signing, a witness then signs below. I asked them how they verify these signatures. Turns out they simply don't. Yeah, well, how do you verify it? It's easy. We don't. Oh, okay, cool. Well, you must check the witness signatures, right? No, we don't. So what if I stole a ballot, made a dash by the person's name, and signed my name? You shouldn't do that. But in theory, it would be counted. They said. How many of these marked ballots get in per election? We don't know. Is there answer. Ripe for fraud? Rife with fraud? Yeah. Spencer Pratt says a net swing of more than 43,000 votes since Tuesday. 43,000, huh? Where have I seen that number before? Probably nothing. Oh my God. 43,000 people experienced homelessness on any given night. You got your homeless votes. But there's probably no evidence, right? Nah, probably no evidence. But Mr. President, I flew all the way to Wisconsin. Board put this out. So the most concentrated batches of mail-in votes for Nithya Raman post-election came from Skid Row, where tens of thousands of homeless people live with no address or phone number to verify them. Okay. Raman picked up a little there too, but the bigger story is Raman's deep violet in the areas in and around downtown LA on election day. Well, ta-da. Gotcha. But now what? California sheriff says their elections are being rigged.
The way the voting system is structured, we see quite a few flaws. You're able to register even if and cast a vote if you don't live in the country, as evident of his brother in Pakistan. And I think we have some evidence of 2 or 3 other people out of the country that voted. Is that correct?
Yeah, approximately 2 or 3 other people out of the country, as well as people residing outside of the district.
Okay. The online voter registration system, it seems to be an honor system. Anybody can put information in there to register to vote. All you have to do is click a box and say that you're not lying, and then you'll get an email from the Secretary of State or something in the mail saying, thank you for registering to vote. And there you are. Once you're on the voter rolls, anytime an election comes around, guess what? You get mailed a ballot, right? You get mailed something to vote. So we found that a little bit problematic. The way the voting system is.
And then every year you just keep adding more and you start building a shadow army. U.S. Attorney Asali says California is blocking a federal audit of its voter rolls. California allows first-time voters to register using forms of ID that most Americans would find surprising, including gym membership card, employer ID card, credit or debit card, prescription drug label, insurance card. California provides free health insurance to undocumented immigrants. This is permitted when a voter fails to provide a social security number or a driver's license at registration. Our office believes this policy deserves a closer look. We also have serious concerns about how California maintains its voter rolls. There are open questions about whether the state is promptly removing deceased voters, people who have moved, and individuals convicted of disqualifying felonies. On top of that, California allows third parties to collect and turn in ballots on voters' behalf, a practice known as ballot harvesting, with few restrictions. This makes it difficult to track who actually received, completed, and submitted each ballot. For over a year, the Department of Justice has been trying to audit California's voter rolls. Federal law gives the Attorney General the authority to review state voter files and confirm that only eligible U.S. citizens are voting in federal elections. Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon sent California a letter explaining our legal authority. California refused to comply, claiming state privacy laws block the review. That's an argument that doesn't hold up because those laws don't apply to the federal government in this context. We've sued California in federal court, and the case is before the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. If California genuinely wants voters to trust its elections, it should open its records, not fight to keep them closed. What are they afraid of? They're afraid of everything. We all see what's going on. You're either honest about that or you're lying about it. We all see what's going on. David Marcus put this out. Guys, relax. It's perfectly normal. It's just a voting system where 7 days after the election, Democrats get enough votes to win. And it's gone. And it's gone. Brandon Gill, a rising superstar in the movement, says, having realized that young white men in America are becoming more conservative than ever, the Democrat Party set out to find leftist white men who could run for office and try to relate to their concerns. The result was James Tallarico and Graham Plattner. Do you know these two fellers? Because I don't think that's Joe Sixpack on either case. These are really odd ducks. Remember where we said, what was it, 34,000 or 43,000 homeless in Skid Row and Spencer Pratt, the post from a couple slides ago about people experiencing homelessness? Well, 5 people were stabbed Sunday evening at New York City's Penn Station by a man experiencing homelessness. Suspect in custody. No elaborations. Okay. A knife attack in the subway. Stabbed by a man experiencing homelessness. Scott Adams was canceled for saying if there's people who've been brainwashed, and it was widely misreported. Hold on. I don't bring it up often. It was Scott Adams' cancellation. People for the past couple decades have been brainwashed to hate you to the point where in a cited survey, a study, half the respondents disagreed that it's okay to be white. It's not okay to exist if you're white. Half the people asked. People have been brainwashed, manipulated, driven crazy by the lying legacy media, the Obama doctrine, the globalist plan, the resettlements, the human trafficking, all the stuff that's been happening for 20 some years. Scott Adams says half the people taking these polls say it's not okay for you to exist. It's not okay for you to be white. If you find yourself in a neighborhood surrounded by people who don't think it's okay for you to exist, get the fuck away from them. Yeah, maybe a couple of elaborations were a little more cutting, a little more harsh, even more so than that. But if people have been taught lies that they deem to be accurate and they don't think it's okay for you to continue breathing, you might want to get the fuck away. That was the point Scott Adams was making. And it came up here on this panel. We did a simultaneous sip today, too. So anyway. Elizabeth Barkana hit again. Going into Election Day, the headline was how turnout in LA was pathetically low. Almost a week later, we're actually hitting a record high turnout. Okay, sure, Jan. Lauren Chen says LA mayor primary makes no sense. So far, 723,000 votes counted, which they say is 83% of the expected vote. Translates to expected 870,000 vote total. But the 22 mayoral primary had only 646,000 votes cast. LA's population has actually decreased slightly since 22, So why on earth are they expecting the 2026 primary to have almost 35% more votes cast than in 22, with fewer people living in Los Angeles? Because every year they add fake people to their homeless list, and it becomes your ghost voting army. Know what I mean? Brainwashed and rinsed and repeated. Exactly, Kenneth. All right. Well, mark it down. Over the weekend, I was working and probably had the first tick on me in my entire life. It was chomping on me for hours because I took a nap. And I was like, "Ow, what is that?" I was like, "Oh, no." So now I got to learn about ticks. Not great. Bioweapons. I'm not following this channel. But yeah, they said Big Pharma's filing Lyme disease vaccines. Last one got pulled from the market after 3 years. Limerix in 1998, 80% effectiveness. 3 years later, manufacturer quietly pulled it. No recall, no scandal, just gone. Lyme disease, first identified in Lyme, Connecticut in the 70s. Plum Island Government Animal Disease Research Facility sits directly across the water. RFK Jr. has publicly stated the government was experimenting with ticks there during the Cold War. The official response, silence and name-calling. Viral videos across social media, boxes of ticks mailed to farms, this, that, and the other. Don't know. Yeah, the new Pfizer vaccine doesn't stop you from being bitten by ticks. It does not reduce tick populations. It doesn't protect against other tick diseases. What it does do is require repeated doses over time to maintain protection. A treatment you need forever, sold by the same company every year. Oh, allegedly. They claim, Secret Reality claims the last Lyme vaccine was killed not by the government, but by the public. People start asking questions about side effects, but everybody doesn't that? Isn't that on everything? Lawsuits filed, sale dropped, manufacturer walked away, they claim. RFK called upon Lyme disease, a potential bioweapon program gone wrong. He now oversees the agency reviewing the Pfizer vaccine approval. Media calling him dangerous for saying it. They never ask why the question itself makes them so uncomfortable. All right.
Hace una semana hemos...
Okay. That was the extent of it. Okay. All right. Let's bounce over to X. All right, there is our X account. We're at American_media_. Please go follow us. Pinned at the top of our chat is our Patreon link. Just click there and sign up to be a monthly supporter. And it's great what you can get people to say. All you got to do is convince them. You treat Lyme disease with the coconut, you drink it all up. Man, you got two lyrical jokes today already. Or at least you called out California cheating on such a winter's day. So there's no universe where the left, when I was there, it looked like that. It was gross. It was algae filled. And Wokeness says, DC liberals complain that they missed the old color of the reflecting pool. Algae green.
It's an incredibly stupid idea. I'm delighted that it's still reflecting.
I think it's horrible. The color I've seen on the news is disgusting to me.
Okay. You don't think this is horrible. You don't think this is disgusting. You don't. That's what your team has been saying about this, so you're just parroting what your team is saying. There's no universe where that doesn't look better on the right. There's no universe where keeping something clean and maintained would be better. There's no universe. Could I possibly wake up one day and decide I'm going to have some pretty strong biting commentary about reflecting pools? No. You were told you're supposed to have a dopey opinion, so you're just repeating it.
Reflecting.
I think it's horrible. The color I've seen on the news is disgusting to me.
Oh, it's just disgusting. Oh, I used to have gust. I used to have gusting, but now I've been from the gusting, so now I'm disgusting. Oh, it's so... I can't believe they would clean up the pool.
As opposed to how beautiful it was in the past.
I would have preferred to keep it like it was.
It's an incredibly...
Yeah. Okay. Algae green. Russell Brand shares this. College student records his interaction with Anthony Fauci.
Keep trying, though. Doctor, how does it feel to have betrayed the country? How does it feel? Guy betrayed the country right here. Poisoned a bunch of people, a bunch of kids. Terrible. Terrible stuff.
Keep trying. I mean, it's more than betrayed the country. Check out our, what was it, Friday night show? California proves U.S. voting system needs the Save America Act. See, we've been talking about this ever since it happened. We told you what was happening. There was no way around it. No way around watching California's nuclear option. Inevitable West shares this. Miguel Boza, the biggest Spanish language pop star of the last few decades, releases a video taking a knee and putting his hand over his heart in honor of Henry Nowak. This is now spread like a wildfire. Europe has never been more united, they claim. They don't really care about us. Michael Jackson song. Okay. Sir Malcolm Walker, founder of Iceland Supermarket, comes out to say two-tier policing exists, revealing police arrived instantly to one of his stores after a fake accusation of racism, but didn't attend when staff were seriously hurt by shoplifters. Shocking. Elon is saying restore justice to Britain. I agree. Hey, Joe Thomas. I like Joe Thomas. Got some Hall of Fame beef? No, not the Shave America Act. Brought to you by Harry's Razors. Everybody hit the thumbs up button, hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with a friend. Remember, Rumble Rant tips, Super Chat tips, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, scrolling at the bottom of the screen if you want. I do this show, the Unhappy Hour Sports Show, and this one is pretty cool. Joe Thomas, a great ambassador for football, great ambassador for Cleveland, for the Cleveland Browns. He's a broadcaster, and he's also a rancher. He's got a Hall of Fame beef. So here's President Trump over the weekend. This is where that walkout interview occurred, by the way. I believe it was raining and they were waiting for an hour or something. So here it is. Here's Joe Thomas, first ballot Hall of Famer, never missed a snap. Like most of his career. Set like a ridiculous Ironman record at a very brutal position. President Trump and Joe Thomas. Whoop. There we go.
So Joe, great football player. I would tell you one of the truly greats, Hall of Famer. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. President. Joe Thomas, Hall of Fame Farms, Muscatine, Wisconsin. You should come visit. It's beautiful. I got to pump Secretary Rollins' tires a little bit for the small processors action plan because As a farm-to-table beef producer like myself, we see one of the biggest bottlenecks in our country is the lack of small packing and processing plants. For people like me that are trying to raise farm-to-table beef, Wagyu and Angus, and be able to feed our community, and she's doing great work with that new mission to be able to help us be able to feed our communities and not have to rely on trying to get into the big four packers, which is often impossible and leads to higher costs for the customer and less money and revenue for the farmer and the producer. So thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you, Secretary Rollins, for all the work you're doing for us small beef producers. On Wisconsin.
So Joe, he played a long time in the NFL. He's a Hall of Famer. Who is the greatest quarterback you've ever seen?
Oh, that's a tough one. Is anybody listening here? Because Brady and Manning were pretty good, and I'd have a hard time picking between either one of those guys.
And who is the greatest running back you've ever seen?
I never got to see him in person, but Jim Brown or Barry Sanders are my two.
Okay, good. For football fans, got to keep it. That's good. Thank you very much.
Got to keep it light for the football fans, of course. Yeah, the processing plants. That's been the problem. That's been, like he says, the bottleneck. Joe Thomas is he's very articulate. He's just a smart, sharp, pleasant, polite, funny guy. Just a great ambassador for Cleveland sports. That is a reminder for everybody out there. If you wanted to order some merch, I do have coasters that say the Unhappy Hour Sports Show right there. Ohio shaped or circular shaped, or the pin. Just shoot me a Venmo if you want this. Put your address in and I'll mail it out. I should probably get a Shopify store. Just don't want to pay a monthly service fee on it. Yeah, I've been covering Joe Thomas for years, and he's calling attention to something that needs to happen. We need more processing plants. We need America to be as self-sufficient as possible. And good job. I'm glad they were able to work on some of that stuff. He said it was really great meeting President Trump and Secretary Rollins today in God's country and having an opportunity to highlight some of the major issues that need addressing for family farmers and beef producers in this country. So yeah, that was like a good overlap. Okay. By the way, the Knicks are up 2-0 in the NBA Finals. Game 3 set to be tonight, and I believe President Trump is set to attend. Speaking of the Knicks, here's Nick Shirley on the street.
Oh, My Help Society? Okay. I want you to go into any leftist organization, show them my photo, they'll know who I am. Okay, perfect. No, I gotta fucking go. Fuck you, though.
Give an example. Silence and obey. Silence and obey.
Go hang out the leaders, why don't you? Yo, someone's gonna fucking find you. I promise you. For what? Oh my God. Someone's gonna find you one day. Right here. Crazy.
Psycho.
Thank you very much.
Man, I love your work.
Oh, My Help Society?
Yeah. Eric Daughtry says, holy crap, a man who works with leftist NGOs threatened to have Nick Shirley assassinated in broad daylight in the streets of NYC. Someone's going to effing find you. I promise you right here. And then he did the pointy trigger finger thing to the head motion. Go to any leftist organization and show them my photo. They know who I am. Yeah, God, keep your angels around Nick Shirley. They're a violent bunch out there, it seems. The theater kids over at Delaney Hall ICE facility. Governor Mickey Sherrill decides to pull back local control and insert state police. It backfires into total anarchy. Protesters jumping on hoods of departing vehicles, physically grappling with drivers, and blocking exits, forcing one driver to hit the gas to escape. Great job, Governor Sherrill. You're setting an example for piss poor leadership, says Kim Katie. Oh, Oh, look at this. So now you got an angry black woman and a soy boy white guy. See, this is where if the person in the car is white, it's like, oh, look, they're so evil. They're a white person. Oh, you got an angry black lady. And she is going right. I play a Taylor guitar and I like go to protests at ICE facilities. That's kind of my thing. This 18-year-old punk has no idea what's happening, but he's got this angry black lady zeroed in on him. I know what's going on. Oh. Okay, I see similar shirts and uniforms. Maybe that lady was with ICE, I think is what was going on. Okay. Just checking in. It's not stupid or anything. Delaney Hall. Good times. All right, let's check in on the jobs numbers from Friday. Came in after we wrapped our show.
And the data is out, the Made Jobs report. 172,000. Is there any doubt that this anecdotal evidence about a good labor market has been very correct? That is a really strong number. And last month, well, we had a revision from 115,000 to 179,000, which means the 2-month revision has got to be over 90,000. That is a good number. Even manufacturing posted a 7,000 job gain. So how strong is 172,000? That would be the best number since 185,000 in March. These are solid numbers. And the data...
All right. Yeah, Bongino posted this. Amazing how President Trump's opponents keep attributing this all to luck, as if lower taxes and reductions in government red tape had no role. Even if it were luck, I'd rather gamble with Trump than a communist Democrat. Well said. And by the way, why did the Obama administration struggle with such an easy project? Such a simple project. 2 years, $34 million. And within days of completing the renovation of the reflecting pool, it wasn't reflecting anymore. Watch this. And now look, 14 years later, how they're trying to spin President Trump's refurbishing of a sloppy heap of garbage. Just here it was from 2012.
There's plenty to take pictures of in downtown Washington, D.C. The Lincoln Memorial, the World War II Memorial, and then there's this. Folks snapping photos of the reflecting pool.
It's really sludgy up this end.
And what's in it?
It's disgusting. It's not right.
Algae.
It's like, smells like wet dog down here, you know. When my dog came home from a stream, he always smelled like this, so it's gross.
The Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool reopened at the end of August to great fanfare after a $34 million renovation that lasted nearly 2 years. But less than a month later, the famous pool of water is full of algae. Algae are simple organisms that thrive in areas where there is heat and sunlight. You have plenty of that here.
The water may not look great, but it doesn't pose a health or safety hazard. It's really just the yuck factor.
If it's sunny, if it's really warm, it will rise to the top. So on some days, depending on the weather, you will see algae at the top, and they looks like small islands of algae.
But why has algae suddenly become a problem? The reflecting pool was renovated to fix cracks and leaks, but it also included installing a system to draw water from the nearby tidal basin into the pool instead of using city drinking water. Algae naturally grows in the tidal basin. Plus, the renovated pool holds less water. That shallow depth is a perfect condition for algae to grow, a bit of an embarrassment for the Park Service.
It's really a shame that they hadn't planned out this a little bit better so you wouldn't have algae growing after all this time and money.
The reflecting pool is not reflecting.
It's nasty.
Much of anything. Lisa Sylvester.
Yeah, that's what I remembered when I was in D.C. for the inauguration, whenever that was, last January. And for January 6th, I just remember it being gross. Yeah, islands of algae. Yep, and check out our show, California Proves the U.S. Voting System Needs the Save America Act. John Bolton pleads guilty. All right. That's basically what I had for you on today's show. Teen fights and bear spray. Okay. Houston father of 5 Cade recovering a stolen truck. Okay. The main story. I mean, not the main story, but this is what everybody's sort of talking about. What evidence do you have? What evidence do you have? Oh, okay.
What they did to the lives of people, they destroyed.
Here is President Trump in Meet the Press talking about how the weaponized third Obama administration, some call it the Joe Biden residency, where he totally got 81 million absolutely legitimate wink, wink ballots. They targeted January 6th protesters, nonviolent, to ruin their lives. And they're still pushing back and lying about this. It's so kind of interesting and weird. The revisionist history that the lying legacy media is trying to put out there. And you're like, you do see that we also have access to information. You're still lying about things that are unlieable.
What they did to the lives of people, they destroyed people. They sent people to jail who did nothing wrong.
Right, just to be very clear, there's no evidence of what you're saying. But let me ask you about Todd Blanche.
Just to be very clear, there is no evidence. There is no evidence about all that bullshit you just said. So now let's go on to another question. Like, oh, excuse me, what? What are you talking about? I think he was right to. That was a good parry in fencing. I took fencing in college. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. So when they lunge, you kind of go out, you click onto it, and you go like this or like that. This or that or this. You can go up or down, left or right. You take their attack and you redirect it. It's a redirect. And this was good.
Who did nothing wrong.
Right, just to be very clear, there's no evidence of what you're saying. But
I think a lot of people have skipped over just how shitty, incorrect, and dismissive she was in this moment. This is the key. This set the whole thing off. She set the whole thing off with that. Just to be clear, there is no evidence that your nonviolent protesters were targeted and their lives were ruined. Yes, there is. Over and over and over again. Look at it.
Nothing wrong.
Right, just to be very clear, there's no evidence of what you're saying. But let me ask you about Todd Blanche. Let me ask you about Todd Blanche.
Listen to me.
Let's talk
There's
about Todd
tremendous
Blanche.
evidence. There's nothing but evidence. The election was
in a
rigged.
law.
It was a dirty election.
Mr.
And it's
President,
happening again right now in
never
California.
Presented evidence
It's happening
that the
right
2020
now in
election
California.
was rigged.
Right now, it's look at what's
Where's
happening
the
in
evidence
California.
to that?
It's
The
4
Republicans
days.
are doing well in
California. No, they're not. They're dropping fast because it's a rigged election. Let me tell you, it's 4 days, and they aren't even close to coming up with it. You know why they're doing that? Because they're cheating on the election.
That's how they do things out there. They're just simple folk.
It's 4 days, and they aren't even close to coming up with it. You know why they're doing that? Because they're cheating on the election.
Do you have evidence to support
All I have to do is look. All I have to do is look.
That's not evidence.
And I listen to people, and let's see what happens.
But, sir, that's not evidence.
Do you think it's appropriate?
That's how they count the votes in
Do you
California.
think it's appropriate that they have an election, and 5 days later they're nowhere close to picking a
State
winner?
and local officials acknowledge they are slow. They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're slow, and they're acknowledging, and they're urging. No, they're crooked. I'm not gonna. A lot of people. They said, sir, this lady She is gonna try to say that's just how they do it out there. That's not how they do it. It's rigged. The whole thing is rigged.
They're urging the votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote in California.
Just like you.
That's how they vote in California.
You're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
really.
Let's
well,
continue.
You play right into their hands.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid.
To be fair, I'm not crooked. She's got like these shitty little transition points. It's like how was this going in her head? What was her preparation like? Where running through the conversation like this will keep it going. I'll just be super shitty to him. That's a bold strategy. She's not interviewing, she's editing. Hello, my name's Eva. Evidence. Yeah, we have hearsay and conjecture. Those are types of evidence. Mr. Hutz. Hearsay and conjecture. Those are types of evidence.
You play right into their hands with this rap. You know.
And by the way,
not crooked, but let's
really.
You're crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
really.
To be fair, I'm not crooked.
Urging the votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote in
crooked,
California.
just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's.
Really.
Such an she didn't defend Meet the Press. She was just saying I'm not crooked. She didn't defend Meet the Press or CBS.
Oh, they're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're urging the votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote in California.
They're crooked, just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's.
Meet the Press, on the other hand, I'm not going to say anything about that.
Really? Well, you play right into their hands.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid.
Now, pick your lane. This way or that way. Pick your poison. To choose your own adventure. You're either crooked or stupid. We say that. God, we've said that about Biden, Obama, Mayorkas, every backward politician going. They're either the dumbest sons of bitches you've ever seen, or this is their plan. It's like it's like meth heads stripping a house of resources, ripping out the copper pipes from the walls and stuff. It's just so pointlessly destructive for such a little return. And you're not going to win. You're not going to get away with it. You're not like things don't get better because you do what you do. But it's warfare. That's what you have to understand. It's warfare to the leftists, to the socialists, to the Marxists. That's their deal. Calming her face isn't in her vocabulary. Yeah, she's wearing it all on her sleeve. So you're either crooked or stupid.
You play right into their hands with this rap. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But, Mr. President,
you know why I got that? Because you have no credibility.
But you've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about. I want to talk about Todd.
You have more evidence. There's.
Tries it again. Now, I just want to set the record straight by saying you're totally fucking wrong about this thing. But now, Todd Blanche. No. I'm not conceding that point. Excuse me. A lot of people say.
Never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about. I want to talk about Todd.
You have more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk
your
about
elections in this country. We're like a third world country. Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked, and so is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But Mr. President,
you're one-sided crooked networks. Right, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I try.
Thank you, darling. Have a good time. Mr. President, please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
One-sided crooked networks. Right. Let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have
Thank you, darling.
a good time.
Mr. President.
Have a good time.
it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
All the way to Wisconsin, the middle of the country. Wherever I happen to be going from, it's kind of the middle point. If I'm coming in from California, it's about 2.5 hours. If I'm coming in from New York, it's about 2.5 hours. Okay. Coming up from Texas, about 2.5 hours. Coming in from Florida, coming in from Arizona. Okay. Look at her eyes like, no. Oh, no. Look at her bugged out eyes. She's like, no. Man, full screen. Look at those bugged out eyes. You couldn't really tell on the other frame. Mr. President, no. Here, let me try this with the chat. What if all settings on? See, we could leave it there, but then you can't see me. And then I can go like that, but then I am telling you guys, I try so many different ways. That isn't going to work. Okay. Mr. President, no, I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
Well, Mr. President, you're one-sided, crooked network. So let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
We need to clip that. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Network. So let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've sat in the rain with you.
I know.
I've sat in the rain with you for an hour, on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time.
I don't know what the sitting in the rain. I think you can hear it, and it's just he's giving her tons of time, and he's just kind of had enough.
You ought to straighten out your press because you know what? A country can never be great with a dishonest
Listen,
press.
we traveled all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
Just tosses it on the ground. He's done.
I spoke with President Trump on Saturday, and we both acknowledged the complications during the interview posed by the rain.
And by you being a bitch. But it was mostly about the rain. There's your moment of zen. She did not handle that interview well at all, Dina. You're right. And that's what everybody's talking about. This interview. But I'll tell you what, you walk off a set, everybody's going to mention it, and everybody's going to know that the claims of voter fraud are just as loud as it's ever been. And if we want to have a country worth saving, a country to save, speak now or forever hold your peace. Yeah, she blamed it on the rain. Yeah. Wasn't Milli Vanilli one of the artists that backed out of the True 250 birthday party? Milli Vanilli, Commodores, Vanilla Ice is doing it. I don't know. It's a birthday party. Set the politics aside. Anyway, that is what I wanted to share with you today. I'm considering doing a show in the afternoon and then a show in the evening. I'll have to see how things go. But I like checking in because some of the regulars, this is a great time for you. Some can't do this time, but later works. I want to test. I want to go side by side, see which one people like better. Like I'm mentally planning for a 9 p.m. show. Just kind of check the later midday news cycle in the evening before we wrap for the day. There is something classic about just hanging out late night at the end of a day and your accomplishments are done and now you're just kicking it, Now you're just hanging out and having a good time. Yeah, midday is challenging. Just a lot of people have a lot of stuff to do during these hours. Like, do we get as many scrollers? So, yeah, Kenneth prefers days. Yep, that's why I did not just go evening. I think we have a show to give you now, as long as we keep it 60 to 90. And we came in now at about 79, which is kind of the sweet spot right there. then in the evening, do it again. I'll find some more stories to share on both Instagram and X, share them out on the New American Media, and then come back in the evening. I think we could be onto something here. So that's what I'm going to try to do, is both. Yeah, like I said, this was such a task clearing weekend. Getting back into the swing of things on Monday. Yeah, it's been decent weather, kind of beat the rain, but yeah, it was just a lot of landscaping and catching up. But these projects are done now. But it's weird because it's like if you power wash, then you tape, then you paint, then you pull the paint, and then you move all the landscaping back. Actually, before you power wash, you got to move the stones and stuff away from the building, then power wash. Then you tape, then you paint, then you remove the tape, then you move the landscaping back. Between doing the driveways, clearing up cracks, power washing, the painting, and it's like you get out of order. So it's like you power wash. We painted it the wrong color, had to paint it in another color. We didn't make the mistake. It was the big box store, but they made right with it. Lowe's replaced the paint, thankfully. Then you got birds making a mess on that wall, so then you got to go spot clean it again because you can't paint over a mess. So every delay in the process for several days, and then the rain would come down and it would kick dirt and debris up, then you'd have to rinse it again. It was like this project just needed to happen in order, and it needed to happen fast. And there's no fast way to paint. No fast way to do it right. It takes what it takes. And so, yeah, past couple days, like I do not, for the first time in 3 months, I don't have 50 to 100 pots all over the grass, burning circle holes in the grass, or on the concrete slab, taking up space. Now, wait a minute. Lowe's blows. No. You only say that, Kenneth, because it rhymes. No, Lowe's was fantastic. When we did Hurricane Helene Help on the Way, Lowe's donated as many items as would fit in my vehicle. Top to bottom, left to right, front to back. I mean, every square inch was just, what do you need? Disinfectant, bottles of water, gloves, glasses, tools. What do you need? Just grabbing all sorts of, do this, go, 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 go. So yeah, they were pretty awesome. Okay, Leanne would check in at 9 o'clock. I mean, why couldn't I just make regular check-ins? Just bebop in and bebop out. Like, hey, what's up? I'm checking in again. Who's around in the evening? What's a big story? Anything I missed? Then you don't have to wait to the next day. You could always have a fresh report. I'm kind of digging the concept. Maybe the noon show, that I agree with, kicking back at the end of the day. Okay. When you say days, how early could the day be, Kenneth? How early? Yeah, I used to sort of be exclusively a Home Depot guy. And look, I will say this. I bought a Ryobi push mower. And man, oh man, this damn thing. The handle, how it adjusted, it had like these hex screws. And every time I would mow, they would wiggle loose, and I'd lose them sometimes. Then I'd find them. Then I'd have to. And I said, "This is garbage. This is not a product that functions. Either I got one of the bad ones, or this whole run is garbage." And I took it back. I had it for a season or two, and I took it back. I said, "I can't do this anymore." Imagine if you had to bring out the wrench, the tire iron, and you had to tighten up your wheels before you drove. Nobody would drive. You can't do that every time you take out the lawnmower. So I brought it up there, and they said, all right, we'll grab a comparable one off the shelf, and we'll swap it out. And they swapped it out. I've had pretty good luck with the Ryobi tools that I have. I know some people want to give them grief, but I like the interchangeable batteries, weed whacker, leaf blower. hedge trimmer. And yeah, yesterday was a lot of hedging, a lot of trimming. And sometimes that's what you need a weekend for, is just to get caught up. I mean, I could show you the side-by-sides of my shed, and it was just, it was beaten up. It was just lots of stuff needed Bondo and patching. And now it's all one color, and it's like the eye doesn't see. Every time you glance out, you go, oh, I got to do that. Oh, I got to get around to that. And working it into the rain. Do I have to wash everything, or can I just put it in the container, and can I put like a plastic, like saran wrap it up? How long can the paint keep? Can I get back to the project in a couple days? So yeah, that's where my head's been at. And that's why 2 of my last shows were in the evening, 9 o'clock. I wonder if, you know what, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll, stay tuned. Stay tuned. I might try to do a 9 p.m. show today. Got to check on a couple things. Bondo. 007's compensation. More of a lawn darter. Jarts. Remember those jarts? I remember that. Like big pointy things that come shooting down. Trash Panda Texas says, I'm for anything between 2 a.m. and 5 p.m. Oh, okay. So after 5, you're kind of down for the count. Are Milwaukee tools still made in the USA? Good question. Yeah, maybe where Joe Thomas is at in Wisconsin. As early as 7 a.m. Okay. So if I could knock out a super quick top of the morning, we're brushing our teeth, wiping the cobwebs out of our eyes, anything big happen overnight. Got a few stories we shared while scrolling before hitting the hay last night. Hit you up in the morning, and by the end of the news cycle day, I mean, you have a 1,000 other stories to find. That is interesting. Maybe, what if I could do 7 and 7? Now, look, some days are going to work for things. Other days not. Like if there's, when is stand-up day? When is performance? When is that going to be? If that's in the evening, I can't commit to that. So I got to figure out which time is always going to work. Or maybe day to day, it'll work. All right, we're only doing our 7 a.m. show today. We're only doing our noon show today. We're only doing our evening show today. We got to be able to call audibles, you know? Audibles long enough to bring David into the party. David, you showed up just in time for us to say goodbye. We're keeping it 60 to 90 minutes, and we're at 87, coming up on 88 minutes right now. I know I've been waking up at 5 a.m. too now, Kenneth. Okay. Well, thank you for the feedback on that stuff. And thank you, David, for being here. As I said before, if anyone wants some merch, $30 for a set of 4 wooden Ohio-made coasters for my sports show, or 2 for $50. If you want one of them, tell me Ohio-shaped or circle-shaped. If you want a pin, they're $25, the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. $75 for all 3. Shoot me a Venmo at Brian Engelman, scrolling at the bottom of the screen, along with your address in the comments section, and I'll get those mailed out to you ASAP. That includes shipping and handling, postage, etc. So, thank you everybody for being here. I'm going to see if I can check in the evening and see what's what. I have some ideas. I've been enjoying the evening thing, but if I keep this tight enough, maybe I can do both. Maybe I can. Clocking in at 89 minutes, we can wrap it. All right, perfect. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here on the TNAM Daily Show. I may be back this evening, so stay tuned. If you see that we're live, jump in and say hello. Signing out on behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM network. I appreciate you. I love you, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.